Erica, thank you for joining me.
Hi.
This is going to be fun.
Thanks for having me.
This is great. So tell me, there's a number of things that I would love for our audience to learn about with you.
Okay.
I think the big thing is actually your journey of being a fighter. I think that's one of the most interesting things that I think people would take away to know how somebody, especially as a woman, for somebody to be learning about and how they move forward. But also your acting. You've got that going on. I know you do stunts as well. So I don't exactly know what you've done in stunt side of things, but I know you have because I have seen you on set and you have physically done some pretty incredible stuff on the firefighting side of things, which I saw.
Yes,
So.
I did. That was on the last ship. Oh, no, that was on a different. Oh, I also was on the last ship. I did some stuff there. And then I also, where I met you was Station 19.
Yes.
So that was another piece that I did. So that
Exciting.
was awesome. Yeah. So, hi, everybody. My name's Erica Jean Mungor. That's my full name. My father's from the Midwest. He's from outside Chicago, Walnut, Illinois. So that's where that Mungorness comes from.
I wondered about that.
Yeah.
I wondered about that because I saw that on the credits and I was like, do I have that wrong or right?
It's both.
It is both.
It's all wrong and right.
It's all
There
together.
is no, anyway. Gosh, it's like the fight journey. How does that start? How do I even begin with that? Except one day I was, I went through a lot of different ebbs and flows of depression. I mean, you're in LA, you strive to do a thing and shit just does not pop off. And, I started drinking. I was doing a lot of day drinking. I was very depressed. I felt bad about myself, smoking weed all the time. And, one day I looked in the mirror and I did not recognize who was looking back at me. And I was just like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened here? Who is this?
Yeah.
And it was just making a decision like, man, I only have one life. What am I doing with it? Am I just coasting along until this is just done and something magically happens maybe? I don't know. Maybe I was following a path I thought I was supposed to do. Just get married and maybe I'll have a kid. Everyone else did. And, I had a few friends, a number of them actually, who had pursued acting, but then decided it wasn't for them and became teachers. And, they have wonderful families and kids now. But I was like, wow, that's just, it didn't feel right. And looking in the mirror, I was like, damn, I'm mediocre. There was nothing about me that stood out. Like, I don't know if I would have hired me.
Right.
If I'd gone in. But I was like, I knew I needed to work on myself, and I knew it was going to be a long and hard path in order to do so. And it had been in my heart for some time to do a martial arts. I had done already some spin classes, like cycle classes, but after a while, my body plateaued. Like I had lost an X amount of weight. But then when I kept working hard and no results, I just fell back into depression and I signed up at a Muay Thai gym that was nearby with some leftover Christmas money I had never spent. And I just started showing up. And I just started going through the motions and learning like a baby, just brand new. And, it helped sober me up. It helped break my body because it was very hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this was a traditional Muay Thai gym, Muay Thai American gym in North Hollywood, and
it's here.
Yeah,
Okay.
And it was a great place to start for me. And it, had no air conditioning. And if you live in the Valley in California, in LA, you know how hot it can be.
Oh yeah.
And I just found like, wow, my body was just rejecting all of that. My body was like, what are you doing, girl? Let's go drink.
Oh.
And I was like, no. So I just started showing up no matter how hard it was. I just kept showing up every day or every other day. And then, my body just started to detox. And then I started to see results. And I was starting to lose weight. And my confidence just started to build up. And, so I trained for about 2.5 years.
So it's been some time now.
Yeah. And I mean, at this point now, it's been about 3, but it wasn't like continuous because there were a few times where I had like jobs, I had work. I didn't train for here and there a little bit. But I then at that particular gym, they had a lot of professional fighters. They had quite a few, and I had expressed I wanted to fight. Maybe like a small thing, but they didn't really have the time, to develop someone new. I think like myself, and at one point, one person was just like, "Oh no, your face." Forget it, your face will get no. And I was like, ugh, I don't care about my face. There's something else inside me. I was getting bored, and I was like, I know I haven't mastered this. I know there's more to do. And I had the opportunity to be a guest speaker with Cinemagic, and they are a great program. It's an international program out of Belfast and out of London, but they do a lot of outreach for inner city kids. Okay. That they can, they like kids from the inner city here in LA will go to Belfast, and kids from inner city Belfast will come to LA and learn filmmaking. Oh, and
so it's not based around fighting what they do.
No, not at all. Okay. But I was just speaking to them my journey, basically a recap of what I just said, and some other pieces to it. And it just inspired them. And I thought, wow, that's cool. And that's just me training right now. What more if I was fighting? And, as an actor, like I was still continuing my acting training, just, showing up to class and again, doing that work, just showing up, just making sure I wasn't staying home.
Yeah.
And being
you don't want to get back into that depression.
Right. Yeah. Just keeping it moving, keeping the mind moving, breaking the routine of just being a bump on the log, as my dad would say.
I haven't heard that one in a long... My mom used to say bump on the log.
Don't be a bump on the log.
Yeah.
Get outside.
Do something.
Go do something.
Go do something. That is what my mom taught me to do.
Exactly. That's actually what we say at Team Bully Buster, which is the fight camp, the fight gym that I fight out of. It's
Team Bully Buster?
Nice. Do something. And the coaches there, I had started training there because it was an all women and kids like self-defense gym, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It was nice to be around women and empowering and training. And the coaches there, Coach Keita and Coach Rod, they saw something in me, and then they were like, do you want to fight? Are you interested in fighting? And I was like, yeah. And then you're like, all right, well then let's sign up for a fight. I was like, okay, let's do it. And I hadn't realized at the time, like in Muay Thai, it doesn't discriminate against sex, like, if you're male or female or your age, because I'm already in my 30s. And there's different like kind of leagues and promoters that you can fight at, or tournaments. And I was like, okay, so I signed up, and my first fight was May 12th. 2000 and what year is this? 2018. Yeah, geez, it all flew by.
First fight was this year?
Yeah, it was nice. May. It was May 12th, and
first ever.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up on military bases.
Okay.
So as a youngster, I did get into fights.
You're already fighting.
Yeah, in that sense. But it's different when...
Why you're fighting as a civilian as a kid? Who knows?
Yeah.
That's part of being on a military base.
Military base, every time we moved, because we moved around all the time, you have to prove yourself initially and just be like, don't punk me, don't bully me. Don't bully me. Mm-hmm. I had 3 girls jump me one time when I was in 1st grade. And I stood up for myself, and I beat them up.
As you should.
Yeah, and luckily my mom got there first the next day to tell the teacher what happened, because I hurt one of the other little girls, and then her mom came in and was like, yeah, she was bleeding. And I overheard the teacher, well, apparently there was 3 girls. Mm-hmm. Your daughter had 2 friends and attacked Erica, and Erica was defending herself. So it just seemed like everything just seemed to work with Team Bully Buster. It's like you're teaching kids self-defense, right?
Right.
And it just changed my life. It took me to another level, because your mentality and your mindset has to be just focused, and eating clean and no drinking and just transformed my body. And when I was depressed at the time, I was considering, and I wanted so much plastic surgery. I wanted my face different. I wanted augmentation, and people want to do that. That's fine. But for me, I wasn't in a place where I loved myself as I was. And I don't know that those would have been healthy things to do. Right. Because I still would have found a lack or something else wrong. So I trained hard for this fight. I started training in April. The fight was May. And then I remember one day looking in the mirror, like in the shower and like whatever, getting ready, and like not realizing how much my body had transformed. My body transformed into the body I'd always wanted. Not because of aesthetic, because that was my goal, but because there was a purpose. And I realized, wow, to have a purpose, that was the key that set everything off. So I almost got like shy and embarrassed when I saw myself in the mirror. I was like, hi, who's this? What's up? Oh my gosh, what's up, girl? What's your name?
It is great to see yourself after a change, right?
Man, yeah. And I was like, wow, I have abs. I have abs. So that was nuts.
I think that changes everybody. When they change themselves and they end up with abs or a tight waist or whatever that case is for them, somebody's excited.
Yeah, right?
Somebody's excited. I know I was. That was a few years ago, the last time I had really strong abs, but whew, wow. I wanted to show it off like crazy.
Right?
You just want to.
Yeah.
As you should. You work hard for it.
Exactly.
You work very hard for it.
Exactly.
No question about that.
So, I mean, that's just kind of how it all started jumping off. And then, you know, to push yourself and to become an athlete later in life, for me, is a new experience because I have more awareness of my body and mentally and emotionally where I am. And it also developed so much more respect for athletes in general.
Right.
Because I was like, wow, this is what it takes. You know, just discipline, constant discipline and mindset, and cutting negative people out, people that aren't going to support your dream or what you're about to do. Because so many people left and right. What? Fight. What? Your face. Erica, your face. Erica, your face. Erica, oh my God, your face. And then the messages I got on, DMs, in Instagram, on Facebook. And I know some guys, they meant well. They would just be like, please don't be offended. If that's prefaced, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
I won't be. Hold on. Let me just send you back. I'm not.
But it was just like, why would such a beautiful woman such as yourself with so many talents want to fight? It's like, well, are you sending the male fighters this question too? Yeah. The attractive men that are also doing other things that might be, working wherever his day job. There are some nurses that I know, male nurses that fight too. And I was like, they're not getting sent these messages,
Right.
Like girls aren't like, hey, how come you know? It was just like, just trying to find that balance of grace too, of not telling them to shut the fuck up. I don't even know you. Why are you messaging me?
Because they feel they have to.
But to also just like educate and just come from a place of leading with a bigger heart and just being like, look, man, like this is just who I am, and it has nothing to do with aesthetic or me caring about what I look like. And
right.
For me also, it's an opportunity to allow young women and girls see like, hey, just because you're beautiful, you don't have to listen to everyone. Oh my God, you're beautiful. You should be a model. Oh my God, you're beautiful. Hey, if you want to be a beautiful woman and a firefighter, be that. If you want to be a beautiful woman and a vet tech, be that. A doctor, be that. Lawyer, whoever. You don't have to, necessarily subscribe to what everyone else is saying or doing because you're beautiful physically, because right. there's so much more. And I find that when I meet other women and girls that have more substance to them, that can talk about, different like political issues or social issues, then they're more interesting, and it makes them even that much more beautiful,
Oh yeah.
Like working on that inner beauty. But that first fight, it was interesting because I experienced an adrenaline dump, and I'd heard of this. I was warned of this, and I was like, my Coach Rod was like, adrenaline dump, it's going to happen, it's going to hit you. And then when it dumps, then you're not going to be able, it's going to be, it's going to be very hard to like keep everything up. And I was like, whatever, this dude don't know me. I got in fights growing up. I'm a military kid. I'm tough. Like, whatever. Like, even in high school, I got in a couple fights. And And then I realized before that fight what he meant, because I was starting the dump before the fight even started, where your heart rate goes up, and it's really a panic attack. Okay. It's really like an anxiety attack. I can liken it to. And then that's when I was like, oh, breathe, breathe, because you start getting a little dizzy, and it's like, what's going on here? Happening. So the first round, it was like, got this, and then the dump happened. The second round, I was like, I can't lift my arms. What is going on? So I was like, oh my god, I sat there like, I want to go home and hug my dog. All I could do is picture my little dog and just like, I love you. And I'm like, you better get out there, you better stomp. So I stomped on the mat because it shoots energy through your body. And then I was like, oh, okay. I recovered. And then I was like able to go and finish. But it was just like, wow, I have heart. I have will. I have strength. There is more to me that I even knew I had to finish this fight. And then from there on, it was like it raised my level of awareness. It was like the eye of my understanding just like was illuminated more on what it takes to survive in life. Mm-hmm. And so as other adversity and things like happened in life, I was like, I got this. I got this. Yeah, I got this. Because that was the mentality I gave myself prior to even that first fight. Was I got this.
Right.
I got this. Keep going. I got this. Erica, just keep going. Just keep moving. I got this. Keep moving. Just keep moving. Keep moving. Keep moving forward. Even if it's a little bit, just keep moving. Don't stay in one place. Because for me, that was a potential trap. Because then I might get sad. I might ruminate about old stuff. Because I can't change the past. You can only look at the future and create some new memories,
Yeah.
And it was as though, too, the next morning, I was like, I could feel new neural pathways opening in my brain. And I was like, whoa, what is going on? Is this how you discover superpowers? I was like, can I move anything?
Right.
Boom! I didn't move. What should I get? Oh.
Do it again.
So, yeah, I have a fight coming up
Nice.
on January 5th, and it'll be my 5th fight, but it'll be my 2nd sanctioned fight. So this will be like my 2nd amateur fight.
That is fun.
Yeah, it's great.
How long you been training for that?
Oh, I've been in camp for that a month. About a month.
Yeah.
Okay. You generally start it like a month prior. But I was already working on getting myself in the mindset. Yeah. Just keeping focused, and again, having to reevaluate the people around me. Because you soak that energy up. Those top like 5. They always say like the top 5 people around you. That's who you become. So always be aware of who those people are, and always evaluate your circle and what they're saying. And another thing is just the confidence and shutting shit down when someone's saying something to me that I'm like, what? I don't know who you're talking to, but that's not right. Like, why are you talking to me like this?
That is a big thing that I think people forget or don't have, or they're not surrounded by the right people that are so confident.
It's true.
That is a big thing, because you are right. Surrounding yourself with the people that are going to either be uplifting or be confident or be going on a direction that you want to be going. And surrounding yourself in that way. Motivating you. Same mindset. And I find that, just seeing the difference between how men and women are looked at. If a man is like, you know what, just shut up, man, that's not right. Yeah. Oh, okay. But if a woman is like, you know what, that's not right, they'd be like, ugh, what's her problem? Like, da 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 da. Right. But what's cool, though, is because I don't know, some women I know, they do that and it is done.
That's true.
There's some women I know, they say something and everybody's like, okay.
Okay, that is true. That's true. But I find that when men do discover that I fight and then I train, that there's a respect there, so that they don't look at me, they don't add that extra layer of, she's on her period. It's like, oh, no, she knows what she's talking about, and just like not tolerating bullshit like I used to. And just like, oh, I'm being polite. It's like, man, fuck that. Who are you talking to right now, man? Don't talk to me like that. That's disrespectful. A guy one time, he was just telling me off over a parking space. It was all an accident. I was about to move. I was like, oh, you were waiting. Like, it was a complete misunderstanding. And, I had put my window down and I was about to ask him, oh, were you waiting? Because he was way far. I was like, you're way far from the spot at a stop sign.
Right.
The car, I had time to back into the space. This is in Hollywood, right off of Santa Monica and Cahuenga, to give you where that place is. And instead, he just gets out and he just starts yelling and disrespecting and cussing at me. And I was like, man, I was gonna move, and then he was like, oh yeah, that's right. I was like, oh, no, wait a minute. I got out of my car. I was like, you cannot go around speaking to women like that. How dare you? You don't know who you're talking to. You have no idea who you are speaking to right now. That is so disrespectful. I was about to move. I was like, now I'm not. I was like, I gotta do shit.
I do the same thing.
But his face, I sized him up pretty quickly, and I was like, I could take him easy. I did. I totally sized him up, and I was like, hey, you want something to go?
That's just a man's mentality. Let's right there. Just always.
Let's just go. And then he was like, well, you know what? Never mind. I don't even want it anymore. I was like, fine. And then I get back in my car because I had my poor little dog was like, why are you upset? And he was like hiding under like a seat. I was like, nah, my poor dog's upset. And this guy did such a bitch move. He does a U-turn. He comes back and he's just like, I know your car now and I know what you look like. I was also do something. And then he drives away like a little bitch. And I was like, let's go. Let's go. Like, what? Why are you driving away? And I didn't know, but there were two homeless people like chilling. They watched the whole thing. And one of them was like, well, now that just ain't right. I was like, thank you. They were like, yeah, that was just so unnecessary. Like,
the homeless are really
thanks for
funny
getting
sometimes.
My back.
Yes.
I appreciate you. And they're like, it's on the whole thing. I was like, right? And they were like, huh. But then I was like, maybe I should move my car because what if he does some bitch move and like he's
already come back once.
Yeah, so I moved it a little. Not before I did a lap around the block to look for him.
Right.
But it was in that moment where I was standing up for myself. I felt like I was standing up not only for myself but for other women, because this kind of individual I could see. I was like, next time he'll think twice. Because I was ready to beat the shit out of him. Obviously that's not what you want to do. You don't want to engage in a fight.
Right.
But he was threatening already. I was like, all right, man, let's just go. And I could tell he doesn't train. I was like, I got you, Poindexter. And there have been a few instances of that where, I just stand strong and I own my own space. And by doing so, I know that for me is feminism and looking out for other women, because it will make men think twice before they, try to accost a woman or touch her or grab her. I have, I've hit men before that have tried to do things to me. I had one guy, actually in my apartment building, it was like out of a really bad rom-com from the 80s. He was talking to me. I guess he'd been drinking, and I was like, okay, just being nice, being polite, just taking another step back. He was getting too close. I was like, I was just taking another step back. But then it was like in a movie, like all of a sudden my back hit the wall, and I was like, why is my... And I realized he was pushing up on me. He wasn't listening to me. He wasn't getting the clues of the boundaries, or I'm like, no, man, I'm going to go. No. Because he was a relative of someone that was living in the building. And so finally I was just, it's always the jab. I don't know why I always do the jab.
It's a good one.
But it was, I wasn't going for a knockout, but I was going for, hey, I've already said no. My back is now literally against a wall, and then so I had to sock him, and then he was just like, you socked me, you socked me, and I was like, yep, I sure did. Yeah. Have a great night. And then I was just like it was just such a strange moment. I just walked away, and he was like, well, if you want to kick it later, just let me. I was like, this dude right here. Oh my God, I just socked you. And he's like,
of course.
This is stupid. Yeah, man, it's quite the journey, you know.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's I don't know, it's still mind-boggling to me, as I keep moving forward with it. I don't even know where this whole journey piece will go, but
It's gonna go where you go.
yeah.
That's you gotta take it.
Yeah, yeah. And I just love being an example for other women. I have a lot of friends like from high school and different parts of my life that will message me like, "Girl, you inspired me. I signed up at this gym. I live, I have friends
That's
in New
great.
Mexico, Arizona, Washington. I actually have friends and I have women now actually in Brazil and El Salvador. They're also following me like somehow, just
Yeah.
through the community of Muay Thai. So it's dope, just to encourage people to get up, get out, cut that bullshit out.
That's good.
Just do something.
So has all that primarily come through Muay Thai then? Or
Yeah.
was that already kind of instilled in you prior, but it's really maybe come out into the world of your own journey since
Yeah,
taking that?
I think it's in my blood for sure.
Yeah.
I'm Filipino, indigenous. A
There's like it's just there.
Well, I'm so mixed though too, because
Yeah.
there's also my Viking side, my Norse, the Mungor side.
Okay.
So I think it's just in my blood because I love it. I think it's so fun. It's so fun to just challenge myself and push myself beyond my own limits, and from just being comfortable. And I think a lot of that comes from just not wanting to ever be mediocre again. I want to find whatever greatness and potential there is in me, whatever that may end up being fully.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, it's like I get off on it, just like pushing myself until I'm ready to pass out, or pushing myself until I hope, because you're not really training if you're not really pushing yourself beyond your own physical limitations to get better. And I find that even before I go to a training session, I do have some elements of anxiety that occur because I know my goal is to always leave better than when I walked in.
Right.
And to do so, it's not going to be easy and it's going to hurt and I might have to throw up a few times, but I'll shake it off and I'll go back in and I'll make sure that I finish, and then that goes to any area of my life. That goes to other areas where it's like, don't give up. Just keep going, man. Just keep moving. Get up. Just keep going. You got this. And that's what I tell myself. All right, you got this. Just go.
It's a self-drive.
It has.
Self-motivated.
Yeah. There's. You enter this world alone. You leave alone, and in the end, all you have is you.
Yeah.
You got to just be able to stand up for yourself and also love yourself. You got to love yourself. You can't wait to maybe meet some person or that person or whatever. And I find that when that occurs, that's the best feeling. It's like, wow, I'm in a place where I love myself. Not just not tolerate, not, I'm cool, I'm alright. It's like, no, I'm cool. I'm a great conversationalist to me. I crack myself up. I'm like, just kidding.
Then you make yourself feel silly.
Yeah.
Because I do the same thing and I make myself laugh and people are looking at me like I'm an idiot. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, whatever.
Hey man, just
I own
laugh
it.
and smile. Yeah, like when in doubt, man, I just laugh. I smile. Like what? Like whereas like my old self, I used to like get like grumpy. Like what? How dare they? Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh man, I could see through people's insecurity like so easily sometimes.
Yeah.
Or I could tell like this other woman wanted to fight me. I've had two. Oh Lord, have mercy. Like this other woman.
Why does everybody want to fight you? What is
I'm
that?
being tested. And
You're just showing too much confidence out there, or what's up?
No, it's just, people have their days and you don't know where people are in their journey, what kind of pain they're in. And, I have a lot of empathy for people and I find that like the one woman in particular that wanted to fight me, like she had some bad day. I don't know what it was. And again, it was a parking space. It was right there. I know. And again, like, she was hella far from that thing. I was already parked. My engine was off. I was ready to get out of my car. And she was barely putting that shit in reverse. I was like, yo, really? And so, I could be a smart ass too and stuff. So she was like shaking with rage. She got out of her car. And she was just like, what do you think I was thinking? I was like, girl, I've been mind reading for a while. Like I wanted to like make a joke, but I could see she was like infuriated and she was shaking. And I looked in her eyes, all I could see was pain. I was like, wow, this woman is hurting right now. I don't know what's happening in her life, but you know what? I apologized. I was all, you know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know you were waiting for this. I was like, no problem. And it was like, now, and then it was like she was mad that she didn't get to be mad anymore. You know, because then she was just like, she wanted to yell more.
She needed to get it out.
But she was just like, so she just got in her car and she just slammed the door. And I just moved my car. Because, like, but let's be smart here. If I left it there, she might have fucked my car up anyway. Like, you know, it's like, come on, man. It's not worth it. So I was just like, all right, you know.
You had a great opportunity there to be like, you need to go to Muay Thai. You need to go to the gym. And you need to get that anger and frustration and let that out. You have a good place to go.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like compassion, empathy. I feel like I am more aware. I have more awareness of people and energy, circumstances, where I'm at, when I'm in a place. It's also very like spiritual, you know.
Right.
It is like having a superpower, you know, because, you know, just feeling where people are at and having just that grace to let them be and not try to showboat or do anything, you know. Just, you know, just chill. Just shut the fuck up and chill.
You know what? Everything I haven't taken really any martial arts, anything in my life, but I've known a lot of people that have, and everyone that I have always known that's taken them has, I think, probably needed it in their life, and they become sort of like yourself. It's just become sort of them, and they've enjoyed it, and they've found so much, I guess, purpose in taking it and feeling better in life. And while I haven't, I have had one friend in particular. She was like, you should, but at the same time she said that I personally would probably skate right through it, just because I wouldn't break down the same way other people have, because I've sort of been very content and confident in my own way. She goes, it's just the physicality of the martial arts that I would have more of a difficulty with, but the spirituality is what I'm talking about with you. How you mentioned that,
right? And also it's like fighting is just a whole other thing, man. It's like, how do you know who you really are unless you get into a fight? Yeah,
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah, no, but it's true.
It is. Yeah,
it's true. And for a man, I'm sure it's a test of your manhood to actually get into a ring, go toe to toe. For me, it's a battle with myself. You know, my biggest opponent is in the mirror every day. And it's important for me to always be able to look myself in the eye in whatever I do, you know. So before I make a decision, before I, you know, do a thing or accept a job or whatever it might be, it's like, I want to make, you know, there's a price for everything. And just making sure I'm still navigating within my own integrity and my own morals. And not basing it on what everyone else is doing or what someone else did for money, you know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very blessed that I have a great dad and mom. You know, my father was a great influence on me, and not a lot of women can always say that they had a strong father figure. And
that's true.
And he, you know, he was one of those strong, silent guys, but when he spoke, the room was quiet and listened. You know, he was a Navy guy, 25 years. Wow. And, you know, grew up base to base. My early schools were military schools. And, you know, that's just, it's in my blood, you know, to strive to maintain order, but then also be ready for whatever may come. And keeping a level head, not freaking out and getting emotional, keeping a balance of logic, I think is very imperative and is what has sustained me as well. One time I was in order to make extra money, like, you know, out here in LA or really anywhere you have to hustle, I was cleaning Airbnbs. So there was this one apartment I cleaned, and I get out after like 4 hours. I'm cleaning, my car's gone, and this is in K-Town, and I'm like, where's my car? car? I immediately think it's stolen. Some guys were outside. I was like, hey man, did you see? And they were like, no, we didn't see nothing. And then I was like, I bet it was towed. And it was actually unjustly towed because they hadn't updated certain records of paid tickets. So it shouldn't have gotten towed in the first place.
Who tows anything in Koreatown, nonetheless?
I know.
There's people that park on the sidewalks in Koreatown.
I know.
And nobody says anything.
But I kept a level head. You know, I didn't, oh my God, my car, I'm stuck. I was like, nope, that other part of my brain was just like, Erica, you got this. Come on, you got this. Let's do this. And I'm like, all right, be logical. You know, license plate number. What's the number to call? I have a phone here, which is a mini computer. Let me da. So just went through the steps, just creating the steps of, okay, what do I need to do to get this car? It was the weekend right before a holiday. It was like this time last year. It was right before New Year's. And I was like, yo, if my car stays in that impound, I'm going to be paying so many fees. Not only just a weekend fee, but a holiday fee. Yeah. And I looked up the name of the place that it was at on Yelp. And it got so many bad reviews. People got their cars like jacked up. And I was like, all right, I got to hustle. I got to move. I got to make this happen. I'm not going to give up. Come on. Because it's like that hour, that window is closing. Oh, yeah. My God. Because then you have to have certain paperwork from your car to go into the LA place, parking place. So
I've heard it's a giant racket.
Dude, I had to
make a lot of money from
get to my apartment back in North Hollywood, get certain like info. From there, then I had to get to the spot get to my car to open up the glove compartment to get the thing out that I needed, registration or whatever it may have been. And then from there, and then I had to go to the LA parking place to present that to even pay them the money. And then the woman realized, oh, oops, yeah, because I had receipts. These are paid for. Mm-hmm. This car should not have been towed. And she was like, so she didn't say that outright, but she was just like, oh, I'm going to give you a discount. I'm going to waive this fee and that. I was like, at that point, I was so like on the clock. I was like, thank you. And that's just operating in grace and gratitude. All right, just run this right now so I can get my car. And thank God for that Uber driver that helped me out. This woman, she was just like, "I got you, girl." I was like, "Can you wait here?" She was like, "Yep, I'll just turn this off, and then when I see you, I'll turn it back on." And I was like, "Yes."
Well, that was nice of her.
Hell yeah, she was on my journey with me. I was like, "Oh, she's an angel." And then we get to the car spot just in time before they close, and sure enough, these dudes were just chilling on my car. Ooh, they were just like leaning back, like, "Ooh, I got a car for the weekend." I was like, motherfuckers on my car, get off my car. So I go in anyway. I handle the last of the fees, then I get my car out. But I was able to do it because I kept my head right. I got the steps ready. I just kept it logical. Like, okay, A, B, C. Just keep it moving, Erica. Keep it. You got this. You got this. Come on, keep it moving. Do something, E.
Right.
Come on, clock's going tick, tick, tick. And I was so relieved when I got that car, man. Whew. So on the way home, I got a big old bottle of whiskey. And I was like, you know what? Yay, me.
Already drank it.
Oh, yeah. And I got some chicken, pizza. I was like, come on, dogs. We are celebrating. Oh Lord, but that was definitely a test.
Pizza and chicken and whiskey. Oh, man, I'm hungry
man.
now.
Oh my. I don't know where I'm going. I'm like going off on tangents now, talking about cars, but
everybody loves cars.
Yes.
Our cars are our things.
Yeah.
Our cars are, that's our livelihood. Especially here in LA.
Yes.
Especially here in LA. The only time I have never had a car was when I lived in New York. But outside of that, I've always had a car.
Yeah, I love my car. I paid that off, and I was like, man, I was so proud of myself. I was like, yes, my car. Yay. Mm-hmm.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Pay it off. Life is good.
Mm-hmm.
So much easier without a car loan. So much easier. That's a big thing. People lose their finances. They do not account for so much here. Between the finances, between what a car costs, between the maintenance, between the insurance and everything else. Drop your car payment, so much better.
Yeah, man.
Once you're out of that.
That was an extra $400 a month.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, thank you. And then my roommate bounced suddenly, and I was like, what? I was supposed to have an extra 400 a month. Now I gotta pay an extra 800 in rent. What? Ooh, but yeah. Hey, and then that's another thing. All right, I got this. Let me figure this out. And still handling it, you know. But you know, everything is just one step at a time. You know, one step at a time. Don't overthink it. Control your thoughts. Don't create things that aren't there.
It's unnecessary.
That are bad. Because I used to do that. I used to be like, oh man, what if? Blah, 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 blah. But you know what? That hasn't happened. You know?
Right.
Like we create these stories in our minds and it gives things energy. It's like, what if you put positive things in your mind? Like, oh, I'm you know, like this great thing's going to happen. I think for me too, it's just like letting go of whatever happened in the past that was negative and that didn't work for me.
That is the hardest thing I think everyone has to deal with. Letting go of the past, letting go of whatever has happened, because we hold on to it. It's a good thing to recognize it. I've learned. I'm not the greatest at dropping everything. I probably can hold a grudge for 50 years compared to some of the stuff that I still remember as a teenager and in my younger years and everything else. I've still got a little bit of a grudge. Who doesn't?
I mean, someone fucks you over. You're
yeah,
like, man, fuck that
like,
motherfucker. I'm not going to deal with them again.
But, right? I know. But recognizing what it is and just learning to just not even fully compartmentalize it, but just put it somewhere else in your mind, let it go, because it doesn't affect the daily life. Nothing affects the daily life unless you let it.
You're right. And it's like, unless it's edifying and uplifting and adding in a positive way, it's detracting, subtracting, and distracting. That's the way I see it. And, you know, I feel like a lot of my friends and people I know, they're just so distracted and they choose the distraction instead of edifying themselves.
Yeah.
You know, excuse me. One of those things is just like all these damn dating apps. Like, you'll never find me on a dating app. Hell no.
Oh, come on.
You know?
Oh,
you're an olive! Why?
You have to be.
Why?
Because I don't have anybody.
Hey, man, you got you.
But here's the thing.
When you got you, you'll attract.
I have,
you know?
I have been on them, and then I have not been on them for a long time. And then when nothing else is happening, it's like, okay, so I have been on them for probably the past year, but still nothing's happening. So it's like there's nothing going on, regardless of those.
Well, I can't.
And that's so subjective.
Yeah.
Those apps and the dating websites, because all somebody does is actually just look at it. You look at a photo, you look at what somebody wrote, and you assume things based on what you are reading of that person. So it's all based. It
could be all lies,
right? That's what I primarily hear from most of the women about the guys.
And see, and that's what I was about to say. I can't speak to a male perspective on those apps, but it's like, man, growing up, we were told not to talk to strangers. And here you are putting all your info out there for strangers, and you are willingly putting yourself out there for some strangers. And do you remember? It wasn't even that long ago that it was taboo to answer a personal ad. It's like, what? Oh my God. You know, you're answering an ad. Ooh. But now it's like somehow people's minds got twisted into it's a cool thing that it's okay, and now it's okay. Like what else? Like we can go into like
I know
the
it
Matrix
gets
stuff.
a whole
like so
thing.
Quick.
You just gotta swipe and left and right.
No, my whole thing is, hey man, you're lucky if you get to meet me. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I am not gonna put my stuff out there because it's like maybe I'm just old fashioned because of how I was raised, but it's like an introduction. I need to know who you are and who you're about in your circles. So if I know someone that introduces me, I could be like, hey, what's up with so-and-so? Okay, what do you know about them? What's their character like? Who are they? You know, because you don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen out there when you go on a date. And I've heard about all these horror stories of women that is like, oh my God, this Tinder date or this date. It's like, bitch, I was a stranger. What you think gonna happen? It's not putting shame on her, but it's like, don't put yourself out there because there are predators out there.
Oh yeah. It's so hard though nowadays though, I think. It really is though hard because we don't meet people the same way we ever did. Our social circles in general, like let's just take a Los Angeles market. We don't run in the same social circles that everyone else always has. Most of us don't work 9 to 5s in the same office building, so we have a little group to go with after work down to a bar to do something. And then once somebody does introduce somebody else, they're always busy doing something else, and it's very difficult in that side of things, I think.
Well,
And the other thing is, I say it from a male perspective. Like, if I ever do see someone, or when I have, I think the last time I actually hit it off with a woman, when I actually approached her in a place, this was 7 years ago, maybe, and that was because and mind you, it was in Malibu, and in certain places like Malibu or even like Beverly Hills, people are much more they want to talk with people. They want to talk with you. They're okay opening up conversation with somebody else because it is partly that kind of community area where they expect people to open up in conversation. Whereas opposed to, I don't know, parts of North Hollywood or other sides of, Studio City or Sherman Oaks or West Hollywood, it's just a little bit strange. It feels like sometimes when somebody approaches you and says hi, I'm just saying hi. But the one time it was in a grocery market. She was getting vegetables.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, but that's like the perfect
I was
place.
about to clown. No, I was about to clown.
That's, she's getting vegetables and I was getting something and I said hi, and that's, it's.
I mean, if it happens organically like that, cool. But I was about to say, like, yo, I've gotten hit on so many times in the grocery store, and I just want to get my stuff and go. I'm in my zone. Or, you know what it is? Maybe, too, it just depends on the person, because it's like you got to pick up the vibe of someone.
Oh, yeah.
If they're, like, open or not. If someone, like, comes up to me, oh, my God, like, this happened. One time, I thought I was part of some kind of hidden camera joke prank. I promise you. I was just like enjoying me, like, okay, let's see, do. Some, young man comes up to me, I just want to say you're so good. I was like, okay, well, thank you, appreciate that. And he was like, well, I was wondering if I could, get to know you and if I could have your number. And I was like, thanks, but no, And he was just like, well, he was determined. He was just like, how about can I give you my number? Maybe. I was like, yeah. I was like, nah, no, thanks. And then he was just like, really? Really? Like, he could not accept that I was not interested. And he was just like, dumbfounded. And all right, well, have a good day. And I was like, cool. And then I go in the next aisle, and then this other young man comes up to me and is just like, hi, excuse me. And I was just like, hi, and he was just like, I just wanted to say, he was very cordial and respectful. Right. But I was like, no thanks, And then, like, I found a few more aisles, and I was like, okay, what the hell? Where are the hidden cameras? It happened 3 times.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, come on, or are all these guys friends? And then they bet. Was there a bet involved?
There's something going on.
It just felt strange. But it's like, I've been hit on plenty of times in the grocery store. And for me, I'm just like, man, I just want to get my stuff. And I just want to go home with my doggies and chill,
Yeah, there's a difference of consistently going after somebody and then just being like, hey, what's up? And
there's another piece of this story that's funny.
What is it?
The first one, when I got home, I turned on the TV. There was a preview for a film. And he's an actor. And I was like,
jeez.
That's the dude that wanted my number. I was laughing. I was like, no wonder he was dumbfounded. He was just like, what? Like,
he's expecting you to know him.
Yeah, I didn't care. I don't care about stuff like that, man.
He's like, you don't know who I am? You don't want my...
Yeah. Well, he was just surprised. Like, huh? And I mean, more power. It's great. Go do your thing. That's your career. But man, it's like, that's nothing to do with me.
Right.
Go do your films. I don't care. Go do whatever. It's like, I'm having me and my life over here, buddy. And
you made him feel so bad. You didn't know who he was.
I didn't make him feel shit. He felt it for himself. You do you, boo. I do me.
That's funny.
It was hilarious. Yeah, I was laughing though. I was laughing to myself because I was like, ah!
I so want to know what the film is, but don't say it.
Oh,
don't say it.
Okay, I can't.
Yeah, no, we don't do that. That'd be funny though.
That's the worst though, because another time I at the grocery store, I was waiting for some the what is it, the frozen section. I was like getting some lobster tail. I like cooking that stuff, and I guess some guy that's supposed to be some guy, and like everyone knew who he was, like behind the counter, and yeah. And he was like, "How you doing?" Like just saying, "How you doing today?" I was like, "Oh yeah, hi." Oh, and he was like, "Oh yeah, so what time should I come over for dinner?" And I was like, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. I don't know who you are, stranger. You're a stranger danger. I should have said that. Stranger danger.
Just whistle. Do you got a whistle with you?
I should
You
have.
should keep a whistle with you.
And he was like, are you sure about that? Like, and I was like, oh, I'm positive. Like, and it was just like his attitude was like, oh, how dare you? Don't you know who I am? And I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to do my thing. I got my plan. Like, I'm not trying to be on your dick for whoever you. I don't care, man. Like,
but you're missing out, apparently.
I know.
To them,
man,
you're missing out.
I am fucking up left and
right.
Oh my god.
You've missed out on the greatest opportunities ever.
Ever to ride some stranger dick. Oh man, dang! I'm just.
You don't know what you're missing to them.
Lord.
Too bad.
Sorry, I'm cussing. I don't know if it's loud. Oh, okay.
Nobody cares.
I don't know if this is a PG podcast.
This is all PG. We got a little PG thing here. It's only for children.
You got the editing thing.
That'd be great.
Beep. Instead of a beep, do a record scratch.
Do you like the fake?
Like picky.
Yeah. Or do like Craig Ferguson. Every time he cussed on his thing, they would be like, it would come up like Deutsch or Norwegian or something would be like, oh, just something totally random.
Or do a fart noise.
Oh, what is that? Nah, that's not a good one.
Okay.
The creative side of things.
Bark.
Hey, so what about your film?
Oh yeah,
so this film,
yes,
I watched it. I watched it a couple days ago, and what was it? An Evening at the Diner. Mm-hmm. Very funny little film.
Thank you.
11 minutes in total. You're supporting. You're a strong supporting because it's all based on you and your co-actor.
My co-actor. Jose Rossetti.
But it was a very funny film. It was very fast paced, and I usually, short films, they're trying to tell a story. A lot of times it's dramatic. This one was just straight comedy, which is great.
It was awesome.
You've got 3-4 different scenes as opposed to just being in the diner, and each one was very quick, very funny. It showed a lot of range just towards whatever you're doing, just a lot of comedic in it. So what's tell me about how you got that. Where did this come from?
My friend Katie Doll, she actually was the one who hooked me up with the director for the audition, Daniel Zagayer. And the audition itself was fun because they were like, okay, it was one scene. They were like, that was great. Can you do it, like you're from New York? All right, cool. I did it like that. And they're like, okay, can you do it like, you're from East LA? I was like, boom, I got you. Like, I did it like that. And they're like, okay, how about you're, an attorney, high-end law firm? I was like, boom, all right, I got that. So it was fun because I got to off the cuff play all these different characters, and that was just in the audition having fun, And at that point, I just throw away the script, and I'm just like, I'm rolling, and I'm just improving and but within the character and within the guidelines of the script and what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. So doing the actual film was just so much fun because all the other actors were great, and funny. And sometimes it was so hard not to laugh, while you're shooting.
Of course.
But yeah, it's a formula that everybody knows. It's the take of these 3 young people. They're judging a couple, which I'm part of the couple with Jose, my co-star Jose. What their lives are like, and one person has one take of I'm gonna save her, right. Like he's a superhero. The other guy, the other girl's like, oh, they're drug addicts. It's like, oh yeah, Latino drug addicts, and then the other dude's like, no, they're actors, they're thespians, practicing a scene, and then in the end, it's like, well, I can't give it all away.
Yeah, don't give it away.
I won't give it, but it's so fun. It's funny. You should check it out. Yeah,
it's anybody listening, definitely check it out. It's on Amazon Prime if you have that. Is it on?
Evening at the Diner. Yeah.
Evening at the Diner. The scene that you mentioned, the one where the one guy wants to save the day, I will say I was not expecting the last part of that scene because of what you say, which made me fucking laugh out loud. I was like, what?
Yes, those writers are awesome.
It just kind of came out of the blue and it definitely kept me, the writing definitely out of that kept me going, okay, that was funny. what's coming up next for the
Yeah,
next part.
for
That was
sure.
fun.
Yeah, and that the whole film was like 10 years in the making, because when they
What?
originally wrote it, it was supposed to be for them, like a couple bros at the diner.
Okay.
But then they were like, it would be funner if it was like younger people, because it's like when you're young, like you're in high school, you can't go to a bar or a club. Where do you go late night? You go eat. You go,
Yeah.
to go eat. And so they flipped it. So it's like, it gave them time to like really like, the writing really got crisped out. And then with that line, I'm not going to say what the line is, but it was my idea to do that action.
Was it?
To his face.
Oh, that was good.
To
That
his
was funny.
face. Yes. I was like, I had to ask the actor, hey, are you comfortable with me doing this to your face?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah.
Of
I was like, all right. I don't know. Can I say what I did to his face? Or, nah.
Sure. I mean, unless it's totally up to you, unless you
Okay.
want to let people watch it.
I lick the whole side of his face. I was like,
Yeah.
because it seemed right. It just
seemed
felt
right.
with the character.
Plus, with the
Yeah.
line, that's what made me laugh.
Yeah, and then it was like afterward, everyone was like, woo! But yeah, that's that, and then that's when all the acting training and all the classes you take, and improv. Like I took a lot of improv with Miles Stroth at the Pack Theater, who's also old school IO West guy, UCB as well. And it's like just have fun while you're on the journey, and don't expect like that one class that you take to be it. Just as long as you're just having fun with your friends and creating, when the moments happen and the opportunities come, everything just clicks in place.
Yeah.
And you just roll with it, and then you're having more fun, and then
are.
you got a paycheck. What? I just got a paycheck?
Paycheck for doing the fun.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's available now on Amazon Prime, and that's kind of a cool thing. So I think,
Definitely.
yeah, that's my first thing like that's now available, like to be able to stream.
That's great.
So it's dope.
That's a great starting point. Now, you said, I don't know, can we talk about, or are you able to talk about that other AFI one?
Yeah, I did another.
I don't know, obviously with it being a thesis film, I don't know if you can say much, but.
I think I can. It's called Fort Irwin.
Okay.
Fort Irwin. It's. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I am the only female soldier that is in the film, and man, it was just such a dope experience to be able to represent the women that are in the military, because my father was in the military, my grandfather was in the military, World War II, Normandy, survived, handled it, came back, handled raising a family, and like to be able to put on a uniform, it really meant a lot to me. And even in the costume fitting, I posted that on my Instagram. And there's one woman, it was already at the end of the fitting, so I had undone the collar, but she left a comment, and she was like, if you let them film with that collar undone, when I die, I will haunt you. And I was like, oh, girl, blessings. I was like, this is just the fitting. It was at the end. She was just like, oh, okay, you good. I was like, whew, I do not need to get haunted. You know what I'm saying? But man, it was great, and to have tactical training from real vets, and some of the other soldiers are vets. And my other co-star, like the lead of the film, he is a vet, an Army vet, my friend Christian.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and he is a real double amputee. And so, a lot takes place in the film that brings to light a lot of the issues that veterans have to contend with after they retire. And, what happens to them, mentally, once they're taken out of this daily routine, being, you have your set routine when you're in, and then when you're out and you're a civilian, there's no real transition. There's no real guidance at all. Like, it's just like, okay, bye, thanks, goodbye, and even from what I saw with my father after he retired, getting a letter in the mail of, oh, by the way, we are now changing your medical benefits. This is now what it's going to cost. And my father, he didn't say anything, but my mom told me later. It was like, well, what was it all for then?
Right.
You spend 25 years of your life wanting security for your family, and then the government's like, oh, by the way, we made this change.
Yeah.
There's no voting. There's no vote in the military. It's just orders. And So I'm grateful to have been part of it, and I'm excited to see that it's going to screen in March.
Great.
And I don't know exactly where it's going to go from there, but
Yeah.
I'll be able to at that point hopefully release different segments of that. And it's a film where, receiving tactical training, how to clear a room, how to secure a room, how to provide coverage, fire coverage for a comrade in arms and someone that's down, how to do medical, applying a tourniquet and
Right.
but following the protocol of it, because I was like, I cannot fuck this up. I was like, man, I was like just going over and over and over. I was like looking up boot camps. I was reading blogs of soldiers, of women, of, where they're coming from, and making
Yeah.
sure that I am just as true to it as I can be. Because I was like, man, I do not want to disrespect anybody. Like, this
You
is
will
some
have
real
a whole
shit.
bunch of veterans like me. I know what's
know,
going
you
on,
bet.
but it's just, there's a lot of people, the minute they see that, they're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
She did that wrong.
Just have somebody on set to help you.
Yeah,
It's so simple.
right?
Take a little bit of extra training.
Yes.
Have somebody simple to help you.
Oh man, it was great that we had all these just professionals, all these military trained people just giving their knowledge, and I was just like, wow, I mean, just to be able to learn all these new skills with all this artillery.
That's great.
We had an armorer on set, and
Yeah.
they had explosions. And as a stunt person, I was just like, I was like a puppy dog following the stunt coordinator. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, is that what I got to look out for if I'm ever a stunt coordinator? Safety, always.
That's a big thing people don't realize on set.
Man,
Big thing.
It's a live construction zone when you're
yeah.
on set. And, some actors come out here and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun, but you got to be careful. You got to watch your back, and you got to watch the back of your other people, of your co-stars. And
The physicality of a lot of sets nowadays is what a lot of those actors that you're talking about do not realize.
yeah,
They do not realize how physically active and how much training you need as an actor to be around certain things. You talk about the artillery and explosions going off and stuff like that, and I think it's really good to have either the right training, or you do bring in a lot of, because I've been on a lot of sets and they've brought me on a lot of sets just because of the prior military, being in the Marine Corps, being around explosions, being around gunfire, having worked on all that, having done it since I was a kid anyway, firing guns. But they've brought me on set just to be a part of it, because I'm not going to jump.
right.
I'm not, when I hear an explosion or something blows up over here, it's like, oh shit. But
right.
I'm not freaking out.
Right.
There's no expression that's going to happen that makes me jump, where I've seen other actors. We had one, where were we? I don't remember what the set was, but this was like 10 years ago, whatever it was. There was, we were supposed to be in an echelon formation, and the lead person was the stunt. He was either stunt or an actor. Right? He was one of the principal people, whatever it was. But all the rest of us were military, and we all had firing rounds. We were all blanks. We were all ready. All of us racked it back. We were loaded. We were ready to go. Fire goes off. No rolling yet, but a shot went off. All of us that were military, we went, whoop.
Ooh.
We all took a few steps back and was like, that was not us.
Not me.
And the person that did it was their principal person.
Wow.
And production stopped for about 30 minutes while they kind of
Yeah.
went through some other stuff, because it was like a bigger safety concern, all this other stuff.
Huge.
But it was like, that's kind of why you have to go through more training, so that these people understand what exactly is going on. Now, granted, we're just shooting blanks for that one,
Yeah.
but still, there's still a small projectile that comes out of stuff or something happens.
Right.
And you don't know anything else that's going to happen, but that's a big thing. So it's great. What I'm coming around to is that it's great that you have that experience, that you learned a whole bunch more being right there.
Oh yeah, completely. And,
Yeah.
and that's what's great about, from what I've seen, my experience in the stunt world. It's very much like having each other's back for
Yeah.
safety, just like in the military. So
Big
it's pretty
time.
dope. And as I continue to grow in the stunt world, the attitudes are great. Like, I love the energy. It's like a really different energy and positivity of
Oh, yeah.
people encouraging one another. Or if someone knows how to do one weapon, it's like, oh, I can show you. Hey, here's
Oh, yeah.
nunchucks. You want to hang out at the park and do nunchucks? Hey, who's available? Like, there's this big group in this huge group chat.
I'm laughing because it's so real. I know exactly what.
You guys hang out. Does anyone know how to do archery? Oh, I do. Do you want to? Hey, guys, let's go do archery.
We just want to play.
Yeah. It's like cool, and it's like so it's cool. I can share my skills. I'm like, hey, who wants to do Muay Thai? Oh, I don't know how to do Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Actually, or someone else knows Kung Fu. Oh yeah, my uncle taught me Kung Fu. You know. So it's just like a really dope world, and actually that brings me to another short that I just finished, which is called American Psycho, which was dope. My friend Orlando Rivera brought me on that one, and I got to work with some really great stunt people, and he actually ended up stunt coordinating it, and so that's a superhero movie. That's a superhero short. Yeah, so like the trailer. Are you playing a superhero? I'm a villain.
Oh, yeah, villain, nice.
I'm the only female villain, actually.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's about basically trafficking people.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's a superhero that goes to free them and from basically slave trade. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm a bad guy, so we're there with the bad guy. But then the superhero comes in, and then there's like electricity, so we're all like, you know, it's cool. But it's like you have to learn how to be in your imagination.
Oh, it is fun.
It's just like, oh, by the way, there's electricity going through the floor and it's gonna go up your body. So do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you're like, oh, look at that. And then you're like, oh my God, okay. See, and that's when it's just like the training comes in, because if you do improv and stuff and you're used to just like not caring what you look like, you can just jump in and do it. But if you're someone that's just like really concerned about how you look, you're fucked, because you're not going to be true to the moment. Like, it's like, oh my God, how did I look? This is great. It's like, no, bitch, you're getting electrocuted from the floor up.
Let makeup and wardrobe and let the director decide if you look good or not.
Yeah.
Let all that happen.
Yeah. And it's like, you got to let that go. You know, you got to let it go, man. I think once you start letting go of like being worried about what other people think and how you look, much more free you feel, and how much more happier you become. And I think that's the challenge today with social media and everything. It's like keeping a balance, because, you know, social media ain't real life. It's cleaned up and it's fun. Just look at it as fun, a fun, cool thing, entertainment. But don't base your life off of so-and-so, because they've hired a bunch of people that's helping them. Yeah. You know, and it's just have fun with it, you know. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, have fun with life where you're at.
Cool. Well, Erica, thank you for being here. Everybody, be sure to watch An Evening at the Diner on Amazon Prime. And also, do you still have tickets for your January 5th fight?
I do.
You do. Tell people how to get, where can they find you and how can they get the tickets?
Okay, you can find me on Instagram and on Facebook and on Twitter at Erica Jean 007. That's ERICAJEAN 007. And you can just message me. I have some left. I've sold about half of them. But it helps to have the ticket, because then you don't have to wait in line. You can just like go right in. Or I'll leave it at the box office, and then you just skip the line and go straight in. Just be like, I got a ticket, you know, and you're good.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one.
All right, everybody, get your tickets, watch the film, and Erica, we will talk again. It's great.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
All right, bye, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.